It's Friday, November 5th, coming up on an all-new View. It's the hottest topic in the country, so the View MD is checking in with ABC's Dr. Timothy Johnson to find out the shocking truth about getting sick in America and his prescription to reform healthcare right now. Then Dr. Phil McGraw is taking on everything, from teen bullying to Charlie Sheen to the Real Housewives, and winning the title of Sexiest Grandpa in America. And Fashion Friday has the designer with a family tradition of dressing the world's most beautiful people. Donatella Versace's unveiling her latest looks on our catwalk. Then, community star Jeong is telling you if he's back on board for The Hangover 2 and how he can thank The View for his career in comedy. All that, hot topics and more, coming up on The View.
To the View. Welcome to the View. Well, darlings, Sherry has truly become a New Yorker now. Living, it's a rite of passage in this city. Sherry, what's happening with your new spot?
I got some mice. Oh, thank you for clapping so happily.
It's so funny because New Yorkers, you're just kind of like, oh, yeah, I had those last week. What do you...
Me, it's like you could hear something in the fireplace. And I was like, and I with my flashlight, like, who in there? Who in there? But it wasn't big. Yes, that's how I sound at midnight. Well, who in there? Who in there? But it was these little baby mice scurrying around, and the guy came.
Reconnaissance mice.
Reconnaissance mice?
Yeah, they come.
Oh,
you know, did they have little like black marks under their eyes and some fatigues on?
That's what the exterminator said. He said the big mice send the little ones out to forage and look and see if there's food, and if there is, like cat food and dog food sitting out, then they come. But we don't have any pets, so he came and he sealed up the holes, and he said he left traps. And then I come and there's this like little teeny one on a trap, and Jeffrey's like, "Mommy, get the mouse," and I'm like, "You get the mouse." I'm not touching it.
What about, is it a glue trap or a snap trap?
It was with roach bait.
The glue traps are sad. The mice are like,
I don't care. I'm not trying to be all. So now he's coming back because I didn't want to touch it. He's coming back to get it, and then meanwhile it was like.
Why do you have to touch it? Get a shovel.
I don't want to touch it.
You want to kill it but not touch it.
I didn't want anything. So now he's gonna get.
You didn't see him strolling across the floor. Sherry.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Good on you, baby. Love your show.
So is that's it? You're going to get rid of them, and that'll be it.
I hope so.
Yeah,
He's still
close up the holes. The holes are really
they did in
important.
our
Somebody else,
offices.
You
right?
gotta close up
Yeah,
the hole.
you gotta close up the holes. But you know,
I turn into a cartoon character when I see mice. I
that's-
jump on the table and go, eek! Isn't that what other women do?
Didn't
I
we have one
scream
here?
at it.
You scream at it?
I scream at it, and I demand to know what the hell it thinks it's doing in my house.
They like
and
peanut
doesn't
butter.
it know that I have a cat?
Right.
Yeah.
And pretty much they go, this chick is crazy. So let's go. And
It's
then
a
I see
test
them
of
leave,
wills.
and then they don't come back.
Oh, you scared him.
I scared the mouse poo at them. Now, speaking of things like that, Time magazine points out a study that wanted to find out whether men find women in high heels more attractive. It turns out they can't tell whether a woman's wearing high heels or flats. I guess, what?
don't believe that.
Are they blind men?
I don't know what study this is, because I think, where's the men in the audience? Can you tell if a woman's wearing heels or flats? They're all nodding yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, shoes are designed. High heels are designed to like make a woman's like tush
They make
stick
you,
out.
can I show these shoes that I got? These are fierce. These shoes are so, look at these shoes. But you know,
We can tell.
but you know, the thing about when you wear heels, you walk slowly, because I don't know if you don't want to trip and fall. It makes everything, it makes
so it
everything,
postures you.
it pushes everything up.
That's
it sticks your
right.
butt out,
Yeah.
pushes your boobs up.
It's a
when
very
you wear flats,
sexual
don't do that.
position.
Versace shoes, right?
These are Versace
Yes,
shoes.
Donatella is
We're
here.
wearing this.
She's in our house.
So somebody said that women dress in high heels for men.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I made the comment. I think so. I don't think all women. I think some women, yeah, when they put on clothes and they look in the mirror, they go, I'm dressing sexy, I know I might get some comments from men, and they like it. They like
works.
It works for them.
You feel sexy in heels until your feet start hurting you, but you do feel
Even
more...
the clothes that you wear.
I don't know, you feel more presented, right?
I know.
Yeah, but it's dangerous, isn't it? I mean, what if someone's running after you? You could kill yourself.
No, your heel is actually the best
you
weapon.
Can take this sucker and be like, look, not playing.
So do you dress for the guys that might see you outside, or do you dress for your own pleasure when you go out?
I dress for
Do you
Tim.
dress for Tim?
I do. I mean, I dress mostly for myself because I think that's, I don't know, I feel like I should be dressing for myself as a woman.
Yeah.
But I do. I think if we're going out once in a while, and before we were trying to have babies, I would try to, dress a certain way.
Right.
I think it's nice to dress for your guy. I think you should pay attention to how you look.
That's
like
why
that.
I always wear a Snuggie for Steve. I love Snuggie. Oh, it gets him so excited.
What does a Snuggie say when you put it on?
It says, come on in.
Come on, yeah, I guess. Jump in, I don't know.
With me?
I've always, truly, and this may be, explain a lot, but I've always just simply dressed for my own pleasure. And,
But not at all for a man,
because
a boyfriend?
I never did, because I figure that if I'm with a guy, he's looking in here. It doesn't have anything to do. If I'm trying to catch somebody, I guess I would try to put on something that I would imagine they might think is sexy, but that's so random. But to me, it's all here. Sexy is here.
But men are also visual as well, because men are really, really visual.
That's why I said, look in my eyes, baby. You know what I want.
But don't you like it?
Even you got a little verklempt there for a second.
It stopped me in my tracks. It did. But I want my man to dress nicely for me. I know I would like him to put on something for me, that says, Sherry, I know this is what you like.
That's fine, too. Dress or undress for me is good. I like
going out at night, a nice sequin jock strap. That would be stunning, I think.
With high heels. Now, a word from our sponsor.
Indeed, I'm stunned by that, Joy. But here we are at The View. We have a history of setting trends, like we've been talking about. We have musicians on before they become stars. We've had big politicians on before they took the big office. Now we're debuting the new Torque Express Nap napkin holder. Look at that. Torque Express Nap is made by SCA. You've seen them before in your favorite restaurants, but now you can use them in your home. They come in a variety of colors and napkin patterns. They're fun, and you can customize them. You can use them to leave notes or to-do lists. You can put your kids' artwork in them. Aw, see, that was done by one of our producer, Jen Brookman's daughter, Sydney. Good job, Sydney. You can put pictures of your family in there. There's a picture of Sydney, who just made that cute little drawing with her brother, Jesse. Good guy. They're durable. You can use them in the kitchen, or you can take them on a picnic. Plus, Torque Express Nap is good for the environment. The napkins are made from 100% recycled fiber, and you can get one for yourself by visiting torquehome.com. And guess what? Members of our lovely studio audience are going home with a gift pack full of Torque Express Nap products, plus a digital camera.
And we will be right back with Dr. Tim Johnson. Okay, one of the hottest topics in the headlines is healthcare in America. And ABC News senior medical correspondent, Dr. Timothy Johnson, has a new book that exposes the truth about getting sick in America and what we need to do to fix the healthcare system in the U.S. Please welcome Dr. Timothy Johnson. Doc. Now, over the last little while, all I've heard is that America has the best healthcare system in the world. There are really dumb commercials out there with this lady from Canada it's just crazy. This makes you nuts as well. Why does it make you crazy to hear that?
Well, let me be very specific. If you have a lot of money and or good health insurance and you know how to find it, you can get the best health care in the world here in America. What we don't have is the best health care system. We pay, let me show you some stats.
Okay.
First set of stats. We pay twice as much per person for health care in this country as the average of all industrialized countries. You can see the cheapest there happens to be Canada. Now, look at those same 5 for life expectancy. And we're the lowest in the life expectancy. So we're paying twice as much money, and we're not getting any better care.
So where's it being wasted then? If we're spending all this money, Where's the waste?
That's the big question. And a lot of it goes to things that come out, they're new, they're sexy, they sound like we should get them, but they haven't been proven. And over time, we find out not only are they not effective, they're dangerous. I'm going to give you an example. When my eyes were open in the 1990s, some leading experts in this country started to say that the best treatment for advanced breast cancer was bone marrow transplant. I did reporting on it. Everybody did reporting on it. Everybody jumped on board. Women and their families were suing to get that treatment. Went on for 8 years until finally the gold standard studies came out and said it's no better than standard chemotherapy. In the meantime, we'd spent billions of dollars, women, terrible side effects. We do that all the time, Elizabeth, in this country. We waste money on things that are not proven.
Is it too impulsive? Are we too much of an impulsive society?
I think we are in many ways, and we Americans want to have the latest because we think it's the best, and we want it right away, and we want it on our own street corner with free parking, thank you. So we
Is it also that they make money on these things?
Of course.
Well, that's probably the motivation.
And the other big problem, the reason we, I think, waste so much money, the biggest problem is that we have what's called a fee-for-service system in this country. We pay for doing things. So basically we say to doctors and hospitals and drug companies and device companies, the more you do, the more you make, the more you sell, the more you're going to make.
Okay,
and
so,
we have to pay instead for outcomes and results.
Now, then, out of all of this, what are you advocating? And do you think that the government should run whatever you're advocating? Tell us.
Well, you know, this whole thing about socialized medicine also drives me nuts because we don't use that term very precisely. Britain is true socialized medicine because the government both takes care of the money, collects the money, disperses it, but they also own and operate the hospitals. That's true socialized medicine. In this country...
And what's their life expectancy?
It's as good as ours.
As good as ours?
A little bit, right in the same range, and they spend a lot less money. But I'm not advocating that for this country because I think our country's too big and too complicated for the government to own and operate.
Right.
But like Medicare, for example, that's an insurance system, but it's still private doctors and hospitals. So I call that half socialized or half capitalist, whatever you want to call it. I think that's the way we've got to go, a public-private partnership where the government sets the regulations and the framework and then the companies compete. Think of the airline industry. Aren't you glad that the federal government says that pilots have to be certified every so often, that the planes have to be inspected, that we don't leave it up to the states to decide how they're going to run safety in their own state for the air, yet they compete vigorously under those federal rules.
Well, what the same thing for the medical industry?
I think it should be.
Yeah.
So what is it that is scaring people about this idea of healthcare? What is the big fear?
Well, I think when the politicians on both sides, I'm not political, I'm apolitical. I just think the politicians are so concerned about getting reelected, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, they try to scare people into electing them. They use this terminology that has no meaning. They tell them terrible things are going to happen. I'll tell you, if we don't change the curve for healthcare costs, we're going to go bankrupt in about 8 years. The country, the whole country, is going to go belly up.
They should be calling your phone right now and asking for your advice.
To a person who said he was he was an expert in medical stuff having to do with the healthcare. How do you feel our hospitals are doing? Are we giving them enough help? Are they being taken care of? What's going on? Because here in New York, hospitals are closing left and right.
Right. Some of them are making a lot of money. Others are closing. We don't distribute the resources very evenly or very well. And they, too, are driving up costs because, again, the more they can put on the bill, the more procedures, the better off they are. What we need are good primary care doctors that can sit down with the patient, the family, and say, here's the evidence. This is what we should do based on the evidence, not based on just opinions floating through the air, and we'll help you get the right kind of care.
Well, what's wrong with Obama's plan? And everybody's up in arms about it. They want to repeal that whole thing. Is that a good idea?
I don't think they can repeal the whole thing, and there's some good ideas and not so good ideas. But it doesn't address the cost issue. And I'm telling everybody, if we don't bend that cost curve, in about 7 or 8 years, we could go bankrupt. That's how bad it is.
But what would they cut? How would they do it?
Well, you have to do several things. First of all, you have to start paying people differently. Instead of fee-for-service, you pay for outcomes. Secondly, you got to have electronic records. You know, the third of the medical tests we do are because the first ones were lost. I mean, think about that. We got to have comparative data that tells us objectively this is better than that and lower cost. And finally, we got to have more primary care doctors. If you do those 4 things, the cost will start to come down.
Okay. I love when you come on. I love when you come on. Thank you, Dr. Timothy Johnson. His new ebook is called The Truth About Getting Sick in America. And we'll be right back with Dr. Phil McGraw. Get the book on the e-pad.
It takes a big man to take on big problems as diverse as teen bullying, celebrities in crisis, and Real Housewives going at it. So today, the doctor is in. Please welcome back Dr. Phil McGraw. Dr. Phil, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
We were talking earlier this week about Disney teen star Demi Lovato. Now, she checked into a treatment center facility to deal with emotional issues. And she was also she also has allegedly a history of cutting herself. Now, she mentioned when she was on the show about being younger and being bullied. What do you think is going on with Demi Lovato?
Well, you know, I don't know her. What I do know is that she has had the courage to step up and say, I need some help here, instead of just continuing to unwind or let people tell her, you know, don't make waves, don't disrupt. And I think that is a great message for young people. I mean, everybody wants to talk about what's wrong with her. I think what they should be talking about is the fact that she needed help and she had the courage to step up and ask for it, and she's getting it, and that's a good thing. Cutting, if that is involved, is very serious.
What is it about?
Well, it's an anxiety release. People experience a lot of emotional pain, and if they will cut, it's very painful. Yeah. But that is, it takes away from what they're thinking about. It distracts them and breaks the emotional pain cycle, and it can get very addictive, where you have to cut. You just have to do it. And it's not a suicide attempt. It's not a self-mutilation.
Is it a cry for attention?
Well, they hide it very. They have the right kind of sleeves. Oh. They do everything they can, and they cut where you can't see it. It is a very personal, private way to dissipate anxiety, and it does not work. And it is very, very serious.
I think sometimes people confuse it with like those faux suicide attempts or calls for attention. So if you're a parent and you want to know the difference, what's the big difference? How do you spot between? You know,
first off, you will see a pattern of this across time. It is not in the wrist area typically. It can be in the legs. It can be on the inside of the arms, up in here, and they're not deep, serious cuts.
They're multiple?
If somebody makes a serious suicide attempt, it's obvious. You have cut into tendons, you have cut into veins, and it's a very different thing. And if you see evidence with your child doing that, deal with it. It is not something to put aside.
Dr. Phil, I'm sorry. I keep thinking, you know, you brought up Demi Lovato. A lot of parents who have their kids watching the shows, watching the Mileys, the Debbies, and then they see them go into these, you know, sort of trauma situations where they are looking for help. How do you talk to your own kids about what they're going through? Because they're hearing that, okay, now she's going to get help. And
well, of course. And again, I always tell parents, you're not going to be the only voice in your child's ear, so you better be the best voice in your child's ear. And if they're looking up to these young stars, which they do, and that's understandable, but let's be real. Let's sit down with our daughters and say, she had a problem. She felt sad, and depending on how old they are, you put it at child-appropriate ways, where you explain she felt very sad, things were happening too fast for her, and she said, gosh, I need some help. And, you know, we should pray for her, we should think about her, we should encourage her to get that. I don't think you hide that, because we don't want to make these people as though they're flawless. No. I mean, that's how you get into this hero worship. People don't, these girls don't look like they look on television. And everybody tries to emulate that. Of course they are. They have problems. But, you know, I live in Hollywood, and I'll pass people that are on TV, and you couldn't pick them out of a crowd. They don't look like that.
Well, you know,
for real.
Well, that's true. We've been talking about Dr. Phil.
I look like that. I've been bald since I was 12. So I mean,
wait, can I just
this is the real me.
But while you're talking about your bald head, I want to mention that you were recently named Grand Magazine's sexiest celebrity grandparent. Now, you don't often hear sexy and grandparents.
Come on.
Aren't you flattered?
No, that's Avery Elizabeth, and I know she's my granddaughter, but no. Well, I know she's my granddaughter, but is that not the cutest baby you've ever seen? I mean, come on.
I just have to ask ask you this. That is a cute baby. Look at that. And cute family, too. Yeah. You testified before Congress this past August in the hopes of trying to expand legislation to include cyberbullying. So where's that stand now? What's happening with that?
Well, here's the thing, and we see so much of this with the Tyler Clemente sort of thing, and we in fact, we've seen so many of these terrible situations where people are getting bullied either online or in the real world and are killing themselves. And unfortunately, gay and lesbian teens are often isolated and picked on excessively. And so I have been trying to really turn a spotlight on this, and I was asked to testify as a content expert before Congress on this because we're trying to add bullying and cyberbullying language to the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. Well, we think we're making real progress and think that it will be added. And that's important because that means we will get money in the schools to teach kids the impact of what they're doing to other people. Right. And you know what really bugs me about, is there a soapbox I can get up on here? What really bugs me about this is where are the parents of these bullies? Bullies have parents.
You know, you talked to James Jones. He came on the show. James Jones was the person, his daughter had cerebral palsy. He got on the school bus because they were bullying his daughter. Yes. He went off on the kids. They arrested him. And he was crying because, you were talking about the parents not coming forward with these kids.
This is him, and he was on the bus, and he did not do the right thing. He got on there, he was throwing F-bombs, he was threatening the kids. That is the wrong thing to do. He was well-intended, and I cheer him for standing up. He had a daughter with cerebral palsy, and she's mentally challenged. They were spitting in her hair. They were twisting her ears.
Do you blame him?
No, I don't blame him. I would have wanted to do the same thing. But again, you know what's happened since then is he now has charges pending against him because what he did was beyond the pale. But where are the parents of every kid on that bus? If I had a kid on that bus, you would be knocking on that father's door saying, if my child was involved here, I apologize, and I'm sorry, and here's my kid to apologize. Where are the parents of the bullies?
Yes. Well, we don't know what happened. Maybe they did.
No, they have not. Not one person has reached out to him.
Well, the apples don't fall far from the trees.
I reckon it's true.
I have to say, Dr. Phil, to switch it up a little bit, our staff is addicted to all of the Real Housewives show. You have Real Housewives on your show. You got your own group. Now, I want to know, where did you find these ladies? And are they worse than on the reality shows? Do they fight like reality show housewives?
Well, I kind of feel like I'm in one of those meetings when I come here with y'all.
No, you don't. No, you don't. That's some crazy stuff.
Now, here's the thing. These are real women with real issues. Yeah. I love them. Everybody relates to them. There is lots of drama because of what they deal with in their lives. But in this situation, we're actually providing some solutions, some takeaway, and somebody will relate to every one of the women in that group. And so I'm really proud of these women, and I'm proud of the series. I think it's got a lot of takeaway.
Okay, we can't wait to see that. Thank you so much, Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil airs weekdays. Check your local listings for times. We'll be right back with Donatella Versace.
One of fashion's royal families who's carrying on the tradition of dressing the rich, powerful, and famous. Please welcome Donatella Versace. We love our Fashion Fridays. And we love to actually see the person behind the brand and the label and the fashion and the fun. And a little bit of history. Your brother Gianni started the label back in 1978, correct? Yes. And sadly, he was murdered outside the home. In 1997, to which you were literally handed over the entire collection brand label.
Well, I had no choice because Johnny created an empire already in 1997, and I have so much responsibility. The people around me, what I do, run away? No, I couldn't. And so I decided to do it, to continue.
Absolutely, for him too, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I was so proud of what he created, of what he did.
And
good sister.
And what you were creating as well. You are amazingly talented as well.
Thank you.
Your mother was a dressmaker, correct?
Was a dressmaker, yes.
Yeah.
So we grew up you know.
So it was familiar to you.
Where did you
familiar
grow
to
up,
me.
Donatella?
Excuse me?
Where did you grow up?
In the south of Italy, Reggio Calabria.
Come on.
La familia.
Strong woman.
Yeah.
For many, many years, Maya Rudolph from Saturday Night Live portrayed you.
Yeah.
We have a clip of Maya doing you, Donatella.
Okay.
We have Meryl Streep, pantsuit. Salma Hayek,
Sweater dress off the shoulder with Donatella written on the ass in sequins.
Nicole Kidman,
Strapless leather micro mini with peekaboo cutouts.
Kathy Bates,
Duvet cover. From the Versace home collection.
Sharon Stone,
Straight jacket and tights.
Now, Donatella, you got a great sense of humor. You are known for your sense of humor. You don't take yourself seriously. What did you think of Maya Rudolph's impression?
I thought it was hilarious. Actually, I talked to her on the phone once, I called her after this,
Yes.
and I gave her some suggestion how to do me better. Because I told her I don't drink. Take off those jewelry because they look too fake. I only wear real. And I never say get out by myself. I make somebody else say it for me.
You love your sassiness. On a more serious note, and a great note, a few years ago, you partnered with One Foundation, and you created the Versace One Foundation Children's Center in China, right, for victims of the earthquake.
Of earthquake of Sichuan, in the province of Sichuan. I did it with Jet Li, the Chinese actor, and we create a school where children can live, eat, learn, and also be followed by psychologists to overcome the post-trauma distress. Because these children, they need also to have a future, you know, to forget if they can.
What
You
an
know,
incredible
over time.
humanitarian effort that is. Great work with that. And for everyone here, you brought some of your favorite looks for us to just Google over. We want to get started with the first look from your winter collection, correct? So you.
I love this coat.
This is so Sherry.
It's beautiful.
Love it.
It's,
Are these leather?
this leather pants with some
Leather
fabric.
sleeves, too, right?
Yeah, it's suede leather and cashmere.
That's gorgeous.
With some zipper, you know, just put it on and go.
Beautiful.
It's a strong combination of that.
I'm going to get it.
Okay, we need to see more. We need to see much more. Is this all one piece or is this a
No,
separate
it's a
scarf?
vest. You can put it
it's a
out.
vest.
It's a vest. I always want to do a bright color in the winter because we need to be cheer up from the weather. But the trend this season is to wear boots with everything. Even in dress.
Donatella, those boots are such a perfect hybrid.
To make something special.
Zip, zip.
This
Love
is-
this. Sexy.
This is a cocktail dress,
yes.
sexy cocktail dress, in blue and black again, with zipper, wearing with these gloves.
I love the gloves.
Leather and wool.
Those are fantastic gloves.
Leather and wool. Again with the boots open in the front.
Yes.
Can you turn-
Very
can you turn around?
original, Donatella.
Can you turn around for us?
Look
Oh,
at the
look
back.
at this.
Wow. That is, now that's a cocktail dress.
cute on
That would land me, that dress, Donatella. Yeah, I'd be having a fourth baby after wearing that dress.
I can wear it on my arm.
We have another great look in here.
A silk georgette evening dress, and instead of embroidery with the usual strass and everything, I use mirrored leather. I treat leather with this mirror treatment and cut in pieces and decorate.
It's almost like a modern mermaid, sort of. You know, mermaid on land.
Sherry, did you get your boobs in there?
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah,
We have
stay,
one.
because
Do we have
there's
one more
a
look,
few-
correct? Yes.
This is what we call a showpiece.
Let's wear this to the Emmys, all four of us.
I can make a little bit longer for you. Why not?
And I'm loving the shoe.
Wow.
I see Beyonce.
And the shoes too, or you?
That's the boots, still boots for the evening. You know, this is the trend of the season: small bags and boots.
This is metal chain.
It's all metal chain and different shades of silver.
Donatella, you are an outstanding woman. We love your work. Thank you so much for coming by. Our thanks to Donatella Versace. Donatella is giving members of our audience a pair of Versace sunglasses as a gift. We'll be right back with the star of the Hangover.
Now, Miss Piggy, you're Glenda the Good Witch.
Oh, you knew? Just so you know, I've always loved Peggy Fleming.
You're not racist.
She was so... He is hilarious on Community and in big screen hits like Knocked Up and The Hangover. But here's a career highlight you may have missed. In 2001, The View held a contest in 2001 to find America's most hilarious doctor. Guess who won? Take a look.
My boss at work, he wanted me to translate for this family, and I told him, I said, well, sir, I'm Korean in the family. They're Vietnamese, you know. So my boss goes in, and he's going up to them and go, hi, this is a Dr. Jeong. He are going to speak Asian to you. Yeah. Dr. Jeong, can you please tell the family the sodium, potassium, the chloride, the carbon dioxide, BO, and creatinine are all within normal limits? The chest x-ray, pee, and loud shows no acute infiltrator adenopathy. Everything okie dokie.
Please welcome Dr. Kid Jeong.
So we gave you your start on this show.
Yes, ma'am. That was 9 years ago. Yes. Funniest doctor in America. And yeah, it was one.
But I gotta tell you, Dr. Kid, most people play a doctor on TV. You really are a doctor.
Yes.
Do you still practice at all?
I'm not practicing now, but I just renewed my license over the summer. It's $2,000.
What kind of doctor?
But,
what's your practice? What kind of doctor? What's your specialty?
Internal medicine, general practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you, in terms of going back to that contest, what do you remember the most? Were you nervous?
I remember, it was the first time I was on national television live, and I was just scared. All I remember, just watching that, it brought all that back. I was so nervous.
You didn't seem it. You seemed very calm.
It was like, and I remember at that time I got the most phone calls and texts and emails from that appearance 9 years ago. I still remember that now. So, yes, The View just catapulted me. Thank you.
And you know what's so funny? Look at, you're crazy. You're crazy. And by the way, in Knocked Up, we cannot get enough for you, Dr. Kent. In Knocked Up, you played this surly OBGYN on Knocked Up. How'd you get that part?
I auditioned for it, and it was the first movie I had done, and Judd Apatow was looking for the director was looking for an actor with medical experience, and it was really just kind of serendipitous. It was a dream come true, and I give all my heart to Judd. He casted me and really opened the door for me.
And the word on the street is that you're going to be taking over in the office with Steve Carell. Can you confirm or deny?
Oh no,
this is the place to do it.
That is all new to me. I haven't heard anything. The Office actually is one of my favorite shows, and be even mentioned in the breath of Steve Carell, who is, to me, one of the funniest men alive. Yeah. But even better than that is I'm on Community. It is like my favorite show on television. I'm biased, and We have our friend Nicole Brown.
Yes. She co-hosted on the show.
Can you tell us a little bit about your character on Community?
Yes, I play Senior Jeong, who was last season was a professor of Spanish who has a chip on his shoulder because he's an Asian man teaching Spanish and feeling no one's taking him seriously. And I lose my teaching. I basically got fired because apparently I had faked my teaching degree. And now I'm a student. I'm Studente Chang, trying to join the study group, the cast headed by Joe McHale. And I'm trying to either join their study group or infiltrate it and destroy it. I don't know. You know, my character. I don't know. My character's slowly going insane.
But no one indeed will forget you as Mr. Chow in The Hangover because you beat the living daylights out of 3 of the hottest actors in Hollywood. But you did it. You beat them up naked, right? So check this out. Take a look.
Open it! Okay, open it! Oh! God! Oh! Please stop! Yeah! Okay, whoa! I'm with you! You gonna on me? Nobody's gonna on you!
Yes, he's naked. Yeah. So that black thing is really for television.
Yeah, that black thing.
You devil.
Exactly. No, still, I can't. What was I thinking?
You gave to us. We loved it, but you know, it was a little sad time because during this time, your wife, who was also a doctor, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah.
And so she really wanted you, a rare form of breast cancer. She really wanted you to take this part. So, you know, that must have been just a really hard time trying to do this and knowing your wife.
Absolutely. It was because of her that she gave me her blessings to do The Hangover, and I'm, long story short, 2 years later, cancer-free, just healthy, and I mean, this is icing on the cake, but to know that, you know, that to be as a spouse of a cancer survivor, I think that's, you know, my greatest, something I'm most proud of than anything I've ever done in life.
And being proud of your 3-year-old twin daughters.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Look at these girls.
Yeah.
Now, you want them to be actors, you want them to be doctors.
Right. That's Zoe. That's my favorite. I'm kidding. It is, and that is Alexa. Yeah, actually, they both want to be doctors, apparently. So that's what they told me the other day. So very nice. Yeah.
They can do both.
Yeah, they can do both.
It's very possible.
Ken, before we leave here, will you be in the next Hangover? Please say yes.
Yes, I will be in the next.
Yes. We love it every time you come by. Thanks to Ken Jeong. Community airs Thursday nights. Check your local listings. And members of our audience are going home with season 1 on DVD. We'll be right back.
Show. This was fun, Donatella. The dresses look good, and Ken is hysterical. You know what? Y'all have a great day, and take a little time to enjoy the what?